and I'm lying there, and it's like when it happens so many times, you begin to realize or like recognize, okay, it's about to happen. I feel this presence, this dark presence come into my bedroom, and I'm like, here we go. And all of a sudden, I can't move, and I can hear things. I can hear walking. It seems like walking. And then I'm lying there, and then all of a sudden I can feel things, something like lick my ears. Like literally, like the sound was like in my ear. Can't move. I hear things and I feel things, and I can't talk. And you're in that situation where you're just like helpless. And I'm trying to move. I'm trying to do what you can't. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing awesome today. In this video, I want to look at something, a very traumatic event that everybody experiences. People all over the world, whether you are a Christian or whether you're not a Christian. It affects so many people, and it's freaky, and that is sleep paralysis. Now, maybe you're watching this right now and you've encountered this event. This has happened to you and it's freaked you right out. I know for me personally, if I had to ballpark it in my life, I would guess about 100 times from when I was a kid to now as an adult that I've had this situation happen to me. Now, when you do some research into it, the common cultural, societal, scientific narrative is as follows. Sleep paralysis typically occurs during one of two phases of sleep, during the onset of sleep or upon awakening from sleep. It is believed to be a result of disrupted REM sleep during which the body is normally temporarily paralyzed to prevent acting out dreams. In sleep paralysis, this paralysis persists briefly after the person wakes up or before they fall asleep, leading to the sensation of being unable to move. While sleep paralysis itself is not harmful and usually lasts for a few seconds up to a few minutes, it can be quite distressing for those who experience it, particularly if it occurs frequently. It is often associated with other sleep disorders such as narcolepsy, disrupted sleep schedules, stress, anxiety, or substance abuse. Managing underlying sleep disorders, improving sleep hygiene, and reducing stress and anxiety can reduce the frequency of sleep paralysis episodes. Okay, so that is the common narrative out there, where if you have certain sleep disorders, you have high levels of stress or anxiety, or maybe you have substance abuse related issues. These tend to be reasons why sleep paralysis events happen. Now, as I mentioned, in my life, I've experienced this event, I'm guessing about 100 times. It's happened since I was a little kid up to an adult. And I'm sure there were times when it's happened when I've been stressed, but it's also happened when I haven't been stressed. There were times maybe when I have had lack of sleep and the perfect amount of sleep. I've never had any sleeping disorders, and I've never had substance abuse issues. And yet my entire life, it's happened. And every single time that it has happened, and again, I come from a biblical worldview. I believe in the Bible. I believe God, I believe there's good guys, bad guys, kingdom of heaven, kingdom of darkness. And every single time that I've had to experience and go through this event, and I'm going to explain some of the situations that I've had to go through, it has always been an extremely negative, demonic filled event. Every single time it's been a demonic attack. And I know those of you watching, maybe you're watching this and you're an atheist. and you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the supernatural realm, and you'd be the one who says, no, it's a naturally occurring scientific, biological event, and that if I'm claiming that it's just, spiritual, it's all my imagination. I'm just hallucinating. It's not actually happening. I just think that it's happening. I come from a biblical worldview where I believe in an unseen realm. And these events, they are too intense. They are too purposeful for it simply to be a naturally occurring biological event. And so let me explain some of these examples to you that I've had to go through. There was one time where, and I should say for me, there's been times where it's happened where I've been lying there awake. Like I'm not sleeping yet and I become paralyzed. And then there are other times when I've just fallen asleep or I'm in the process of falling asleep and this event is I know it's happening to my physical body as I'm lying there, but it's also manifesting in a like demonic dream. So it kind of happens in both states where I'm physically awake, like I'm not sleeping yet, and it's happening, and also happening when I'm actually sleeping or just about to, or maybe in that first level of sleep. And there's one time when I was lying there in bed, I was lying on my back, and I'm lying there, and it's like when it happens so many times, you begin to realize or like recognize, okay, it's about to happen. I feel this presence, this dark presence come into my bedroom. And I'm like, here we go. And all of a sudden, I can't move. And I can hear things. I can hear walking. It seems like walking. And then I'm lying there, and then all of a sudden I can feel things, something like lick my ears. Like literally, like the sound was like in my ear. Can't move. I hear things and I feel things and I can't talk, and you're in that situation where you're just like helpless, and I'm trying to move, I'm trying to do what you can't. And so that was one of the freaky ones where I was actually awake, not in sleep lands yet, and it happened. And then another example of one where I was in the process of, where I was sleeping, but the paralysis part, like I could feel it happen, like actually in my dream. So I think my physical body was paralyzed, and so I was lying there in my bed, and I could feel, and again, it's always the same, I could feel the presence come in, this time feeling it in my dream, but I'm lying there, and then all of a sudden this entity appears, and then it picks me up, and it choke slams me down in my dream, and I'm lying in this crib. In the dream, it's a crib, and then I'm looking at it, and then I'm trying to pray, I'm trying to move, and I can't. It's got me, it's like laughing at me in the dream, but I'm paralyzed in the crib, can't move in the crib. Then I eventually wake up from the dream, and I'm still paralyzed in my bed, cannot move, and I don't even know how long this one went on for. Now, these are just two examples of, like I said, up to 100. And each one of these events, it's just demonically, it was a demonic event. You're not going to convince me that I was hallucinating. You're not going to convince me that it was just my imagination. You're not going to convince me, that I'm just lack of sleep. So I had this demonic, it's got the devil, it's got him written all over it. And when you have a biblical worldview, it's easy to discern it's a demonic attack. It's a spiritual attack. And a lot of times these things happened when God was doing things in my life. When I'm about to progress, when, he's really working and moving, boom, it's a form of attack. Now, there could be some scientific biological truth to it. Like, I'm not saying that's completely false. I'm just saying that that's not the main. I think it's more of an attack versus that. But I think that as people, because we need to understand that we live in a spiritual battle, whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, we're in a spiritual war. There is an unseen realm that envelops, that encompasses our natural realm, that affects us. And I think that we can open up doors. You know, if you're not a Christian and you go, for example, to a psychic, or you play with Ouija boards, that can open up a door in the spiritual realm to your life that can bring on this kind of attack. Like it mentioned, substance abuse. If you are highly promiscuous, if you are, exposing yourself to a whole bunch of like horror or like demonic films or music, these are all ways that we can create openings into our life that invites these sorts of attacks. And so I think that there's many different reasons as to why it happens, but that's why we have to be so careful what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're how we're acting, how we're behaving. All those things come into play here. And I think this is just one of the ways where the enemy attacks. So what do we do? What do you do if this is happening? Because there were times when I've lied there and I'm trying to pray. I'm trying to say Jesus. I can't even say his name. I can't pray. If you feel helpless, you feel like there were times where I would wake up and I would just cry. Because I'm like, you just feel so defeated and so like outpowered. And this is what I would say. I would check your life to make sure that everything is covered. There's no openings there. And if you can check that box off, then it's where you just go to God and you pray before you go to sleep. And this is where the power of prayer is very important. And I think that like as I've looked back through my life, the times when I'm really intentional about praying before I go to bed and being mindful of it, it's eliminated a lot of those attacks. And so this is where you have to like ask God, protect my room, protect my mind, protect my thoughts, protect my body, protect my house, all that kind of stuff. Give it to God. Ask God to send angels to watch over you, to protect you. There's a spiritual battle. There's a spiritual component, and you can't fight spirit with physical. You got to fight spirit with spirit. If you're not engaged with God, if you're not connected with God, if there's openings in your life, then I think these are the reasons why they happen. So be prayed up. Make sure you're armored spiritually. You're connected with God, and there's no open doors. And yeah, the Spirit of God, the power of God, the presence of God permeates your room, permeates you. And these events, these attacks have to cease in the name of Jesus. And so that's it for this video. Hope it made sense. And feel free to leave any comments, questions below. And we'll see you all in the next video. Much love and God bless.